A recent report quoting military experts states that the current Iranian offensive is costing Israel hundreds of millions of dollars a day. These costs could limit Tel Aviv's ability to sustain a prolonged war. According to experts, operating the defense systems could cost up to $200 million per day. The greatest expense is the interceptor missiles used to detonate incoming Iranian projectiles, which could cost tens of millions of dollars alone. Added to this figure are the cost of munitions, aircraft, and the unprecedented damage to Israel's military and strategic infrastructure. These rising costs put additional pressure on Israel to stop its aggression against Iran. Precisely in this context, Iran intensified its attacks against the Israeli regime by launching the 16th wave of missiles against targets in the city of Beersheba, an important technological and military center. Local media reported that Israeli defense systems failed to intercept an Iranian missile that hit a Microsoft plant, causing a great fire. The attack damaged settlers' homes and set fire to several vehicles. At least 31 people were hospitalized. The city of Beersheba is an important center for the military industry of the Israeli regime, which was already the target of an Iranian attack. The Islamic Republic of Iran responds to the Israeli aggression initiated last June 13th when it attacked residential areas and nuclear facilities. The Israeli occupation army committed 2 new massacres, killing 41 Palestinians. 27 of the victims were killed while collecting food at a distribution center in the Gaza Strip. According to Wafa news agency, Zionist troops opened fire on people seeking help near the Netzarim corridor in central Gaza. The famine-stricken Palestinian population gathers daily at distribution points to receive packages from the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. The foundation is supported by the United States and Israel, but condemned by the United Nations for weaponizing aid. Meanwhile, on Friday, Palestinian authorities denounced the grave situation suffered by women in the occupied territories due to Israeli aggressions and orders of forced displacement to which they are subjected. The Palestinian Ministry of Women's Affairs described the current situation as catastrophic and unprecedented. Minister Mona Al-Khalili detailed how women in the Gaza Strip are facing terrible conditions in the face of the collapse of the health system caused by ongoing Israeli attacks on hospitals and the blockade of medicines along with humanitarian aid. Palestinian Central Bureau of Statistics reported that up to March 2025, more than 12,000 women in Gaza were killed by Israel, while over 1 million live as refugees in occupied West Bank and camps in Jordan and Lebanon. And Cuba will be the setting for the International Cuba Rumba Festival Tataguines in Memoriam, an event dedicated to honor the memory of the renowned Cuban percussionist Tataguines. The event will include a variety of activities such as the donation of articles of the percussionist to the National Museum of Music and community performances, as well as the participation of the National Folklore Ensemble. The festival, which runs from June 26th to the 30th, will culminate with a special tribute to Tataguines, including a performance of his birthplace and a celebration of the rumba as a symbol of Cuban identity. When the local government tried to shut Brazil's largest urban social movements out of an important political space, they fought back and won. Our correspondent Brian Meir has more.
Preparations for this year's National Cities Conference got off to a rough start in Recife, as 3 of Brazil's largest urban social movements united to push their way into and shut down the Municipal Cities Conference, an important space for people's participation which cedes control over parts of urban policy to a democratically elected volunteer delegate system.
Recife Mayor João Campos is holding a totally fake conference. This conference doesn't represent the city's real social movements.
In 2003, the urban social movements pressured President Lula to create a national cities ministry controlled by a national system of voluntary delegates elected at the city, state, and national levels, with guaranteed 51% majority for social movements, In 2016, President Michel Temer shut it down. This year, the Lula administration will hold the first national conference in 11 years, but many local governments are working to stifle participation.
The mayor's office created a commission to simply cut delegates from the social movements that fight for and create social housing in the city of Recife. For example, we registered 30 delegates to participate in the conference and they cut 28 of them. The MTST, UNMP, MLB, and the MNLM and the other people's housing movements don't agree with this. Today, either they will open space for a representative number of delegates from the social movements that are really building the city of Recife, or we are going to shut this conference down.
Together, the social movements marched into the convention hall where the municipal conference was taking place. They pushed past the municipal guard and stormed the stage. There they announced that they weren't leaving and began to sing as nervous bureaucrats fretted. Within minutes, the movement leaders were meeting with Recife's housing secretary, who agreed to cancel the conference and schedule a new one with more delegate space for housing movements.
We had to do what we always do. They only decide to listen to us when we burst into their space and show that we are ready to fight. Then they know they can't exclude us. When we show who we are, come into their space and demonstrate the power of the people, they start listening to us. If we don't do this, they completely ignore us.
Elected city delegates will attend state conferences in August. There, 5,000 delegates from every state in Brazil will be elected to participate in the national conference in September, where they will have the power to introduce and ratify new federal urban policies. Brian Mir, teleSUR, Recife.
We now begin with the information. A recent report quoting military experts states that the current Iranian offensive is